Good evening and welcome to the Committee of the Whole meeting for Tuesday, October 14th. And I'm Steve Robinson and I'll be your chairperson tonight. First, we'll do the land acknowledgement. On October 14th, 2025, we acknowledge that the sacred land on which Smiths Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We are also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smiths Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. So I will call the meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. And can I have a motion for the approval of the agenda? Moved by Councillor Brennan, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that the October 14th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting agenda be approved as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Do we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest in general nature thereof? Councillor Miller.
Thank you. I have to declare a conflict with item 10.3 as my employer is the applicant for that encroachment.
Okay, thanks. Can I have a motion or a mover for the approval of minutes? Moved by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor McKenna, that the minutes of the September 2nd, 2025, September 8th, 2025, September 15th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meetings be approved to circulate. All in favor? Carried. We have no delegations. And I'm under the impression that we have one director's report with Carl.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of quick updates from my department. I'm very proud to announce to Council a significant professional milestone achieved by our Chief Building Official. CBO Andrew Willows was just elected earlier this month to the Board of Directors for the Ontario Building Officials Association as a Regional Director. So the OBOA is a not-for-profit organization that's committed to establishing and maintaining a high standard in the administration of building code. It represents building officials throughout the province and advocates for their profession, conducts training, and advises policymakers as the code changes. So certainly they're involved and sort of have a seat at the table as the province updates the building code from time to time. So as a board member, CBO Willows will contribute to the strategic direction and governance of the association, and of course support the development of training. So his appointment will allow him to represent our town at this high level and gain valuable insight on best practices that he'll be able to bring here. So we're certainly very pleased with his appointment there. It's well earned, and he has the opportunity to really make a difference in a very, very important profession. So it is a 2-year term, and there's the possibility of re-election. My second update this afternoon is on our official plan. So as Council will recall, we held an open house for the new OP in September, and we had a commenting period afterwards. So there's some key questions. Did we get it right as far as it relates to fulfilling the strategic directions that Council set for the 5 opportunity areas? So that is, of course, housing, sustainability, public spaces, transportation, and downtown revitalization. So we've decided to extend the commenting period another couple of weeks to give the public and our stakeholding partners a bit more opportunity to provide feedback on the draft and tell us are the proposed changes, is the OP as itself, as well as the mapping, does this represent the direction that we want the community to grow in? So our objective is to bring the feedback that we receive to Council through an issues and options report, and we'll look for Council's direction as it relates to the next draft of the official plan. But later on this week, you will see additional content through social media and elsewhere, seeking public feedback, focusing on the 5 key themes. So the challenge we're seeing, of course, is the official plan is It's a large document. It's over 130 pages. It's very policy heavy, and certainly we're trying to generate that level of interest and engagement in the process, so that we have an informed citizenry who can provide and so we can provide council our what we've heard, and we can carry forward the discussion from that point forward. So more to come on that, but you will be seeing you'll be seeing a little bit of an uptake on posting and engagement in our OP over the next week or so.
Thanks. Any questions or comments? Thank you. You don't have to go too far though, because I think you're up next. We have no committee of the whole consent reports. We don't have an in-camera or closed session. So priority issues, 10.1. I don't see Marie, so I'm assuming it's you. Lift part lot control for Bellamy Farms Phase 3.
Thank you. So this report is it's our first of these we've seen in a few years, but council will remember a couple of years ago we saw a number of applications to lift part lot control as it relates to the Bellamy Farm subdivision. So just a little bit of background, as council will recall, when we approved the subdivision for Bellamy Farm, at least that's proposed to develop as townhouses, we're approving individual blocks, and those individual blocks are then built upon with the townhouse development there. But and ultimately, each of those blocks are proposed to be divided into individual lots that are then sold to the ultimate home buyers. So through the part lot control process, it essentially relieves that section of the Planning Act that prevents the redivision of individual blocks. So actually, I'll just take a bit of a step back. So the Planning Act prohibits the redivision of blocks of land into individual lots unless there's a further subdivision or consent process. So in this case, the subdivision was approved as is. The process, the expectations were clearly set out that these lots would be developed as individual lots, very small lots. But through the part lot control process, we're lifting that prohibition, allowing the individual lots to be developed, and that's ultimately what this step is. So this is the first block we're seeing in Phase 3. It's going to be divided into 5 individual lots. This is a new townhouse development that we're seeing on Dr. Agnes Crane Drive at the south end of the subdivision. So through the part lot control process, staff have reviewed the proposed lot configuration, verifies it meets the configuration spelled out in zoning and satisfies operational objectives. So our recommendation is that council passes a bylaw lifting the part lot control provisions of the Planning Act, allowing the ultimate redivision of these lots. So in time, we're hopeful to bring a few more of these forward as the subdivision phase develops.
Thanks, Carl. Councilor McGuire?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Carl. I'm wondering, is there any way we can delegate authority for this process? Because I'm thinking we're going to have to do this 33 more times for the other blocks in the subdivision.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Unfortunately, the wording of the Planning Act spells out that these need to be, the lifting of part lot control has to happen by bylaw. So the best that we can, we've investigated that option. The best that we can do, and what we're recommending for the developer, is to bring several of these forward at once. And in Phase 2, we're usually bringing 4 or 5 blocks together, and we just approve a big chunk of them. Our expectation is Phase 3 is probably going to build out slower, so we'll bring them as they come. We'll try to consolidate them as we can, but unfortunately, I don't view a delegation authority based on the wording of the Planning Act.
Thanks, Councilor Brennan.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that notion, but I think it's nice to have it come forward, because then we can hear that the development continues to develop. So that gets it in the public. So I know it's an administrative sort of hassle, but it's good to hear.
Anyone else? Good. Well, it's going to move forward. Thank you. So we're up to 10.2. You're a popular guy tonight. Application for deeming at 91 Able Street and 184 Brockville Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm bringing forward another largely administrative section exercising a different section of the Planning Act. And this relates to a lot addition application that was provisionally approved by the Planning Advisory Committee a couple of months back, and that involves the adjustment of a boundary between two properties on Able and Broadview. So these properties constitute full lots within the original plan of subdivision, and the legal advice we received is based on the principle of once a subdivision, always a subdivision. Administratively, we would need to pass a bylaw deeming these lots to no longer be parts of the subdivision simply for the purposes of allowing their configuration. So this process happens sometimes when we're merging lots, and in this case, it's merging a section of a lot with a different lot. So again, it's another largely administrative process, but it is one that needs to be followed, and it is a condition of the PAC's consent approval. So our recommendation is that council does pass that bylaw deeming these two parcels to not be lots for the purposes of section 54 of the Planning Act.
Thanks, Carl. Thumbs up. So that's going to move forward. And next, we've got an application for encroachment at 18 William Street East.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Third and final report from our department this evening relates to a proposed encroachment application for the Big Brothers Big Sisters property at 18 Williams. Council will recall in the spring we'd approved a community improvement plan application accommodating some facade changes to the property, as well as the construction of a new canopy at the front of the building. So the building here sits about 1 foot off of the existing property line. That's a condition that's been there for a very long time. So the canopy would be almost entirely within the municipal right-of-way. So from time to time that we have had proposals. The most significant one that the council may have seen a couple of years ago was the portico in front of Hotel Rideau. But our process is that and what staff are recommending is that council passes a bylaw authorizing the encroachment subject to the entering into an encroachment agreement. And the encroachment agreement it spells out the obligations between or the property owner's obligations, and also spells out the municipality continues to own the land, and in the unlikely event that we're going to need to use it at some point, then there's a process that needs to be followed. Our CBO and our Public Works Director have both reviewed the proposal for their operational concerns, and no concerns were identified. So our recommendation is that we proceed to the encroachment agreement, which would allow for the construction in the municipal road allowance.
Thanks, Carl. Councilor McGuire.
Thanks, Carl. I'm supportive of the recommendation. I'm wondering, were the fees included as part of the CIP application, or is that something we can waive considering it's a not-for-profit organization?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the fees were not included through the CIP application. So they were paid in accordance with our fees provisions. So if council wishes to waive them in this instance, we'll take council's direction there.
Any questions or comments from anyone? Councilor McKenna.
Well, I wasn't ready for that proposal. I just wanted to think about the process and precedent, and what do you have experience with this, with a not-for-profit having their fees waived on these types of things, because the proponent isn't looking for it. So I'm asking the director.
Yeah.
Mr. Granke, through your chair.
Yeah, the CIP, in this case, the CIP does not have a program the CIP has a program that waives building and planning fees in certain circumstances that didn't qualify here. So it wasn't requested through that process. So I think it's not all that often that we have planning adjacent applications such as this from not-for-profit organizations. If there was a fee request that was provided to us, then we would have conveyed that to council. I'm sure the applicants would welcome a refund of the fees, but it's not something that we've seen often.
Sure. I support the recommendation, and just to Councilor McGuire's question, I mean, I appreciate everything Big Brothers Big Sisters does, and I think they're an outstanding organization that provides a lot of value to our community. But I would be reluctant to waive the fees based on a precedent-setting situation, and I assume the fees are fairly modest in this situation, and it wasn't requested. So
$300.
yeah, so I would prefer we don't.
Councilor Brown?
I agree with that.
Oh, everybody in favor of, all right,
Yep.
great. There's your direction. All right. Next, we have Public Works Garage Fire Insurance Settlement Report with Director McMahon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Right out of the gate here this evening, I'll apologize. My ears seem to be a little plugged up tonight, so having an issue with my sinuses, I think. So if anybody has any comments or anything, and if I ask you to repeat it, that's simply why, because I'm having some difficulty here this evening. So the report I have in front of you this evening is, if council will recall, as a little bit of background, I brought a report to committee on the September 2nd to table some different options that have been put forward by our consultant that's working on this particular assignment for the design of a new structure. And as we all know, we were subject to a structure fire back on the 15th of February, this past February. As a result of that fire, the north end of the building sustained significant structural damage. The southerly end of the building, not so much structure damage as it was smoke damage. But nonetheless, the insurance got to work. They secured the site. They've done some preliminary work on the site to make it safe for entry. That's kind of where we stand right now. They dealt with all the contents that were in the building. We still haven't yet settled on a settlement for the contents of the building yet, albeit we've dealt with a bunch of the larger pieces of equipment, and they've since been purchased, and the town has been paid for those replacement vehicles. So back on September 2nd, the three different options that were presented to council was in favor of the one option being the new build fronting Walker Road. Regardless of whichever option was decided on at the time, the insurance company, Intact Public Entities, they have advised that when they went to market, the prices they got back, the cheapest of the three bids that they got back were around 1.43 million and change. That would put the building back to its original state pre-fire, albeit it doesn't check the boxes in terms of what the town's looking for a new public works facility. That 1.43 million at the time was respective of the total price that was bid by the contractor, inclusive of HST of 13%. So what I'm asking here tonight is direction from council to direct the clerk to enter into, or to authorize the clerk to sign the fire proof of loss through Intact Public Entities. That'll authorize them to release those funds to the town. So the amount that they proposed, and let's keep in mind, staff took the direction from council. We went to work. We had those negotiating meetings with IPE, and they were truly open to the discussion. They wanted to, I guess, kind of wrap up this whole thing and keep things moving along. So we heard from them a week or so ago, or a couple of weeks ago, that what they're proposing is the full of the 1.43, which again is respective of that 13% tax. So when you back the tax out and you account for our 1.76 net HST, which is the amount the town pays, it's $1,288,379.13. So that's what the town will receive from a settlement contingent on approval from council this evening. With that, through the chair, I'm happy to take any questions. I think that the report pretty well speaks for itself, but happy to take any questions nonetheless.
Thanks, Paul. Councilor McGuire.
Thank you, Paul. I agree with the recommendation, and I just want to make a comment that looking at the pricing of Montague's towering fire hall garage next door was significantly less expensive than the estimates we're looking at so far. And I think the town of Perth's also planning a public Works garage right now, and their estimates are also lower than ours. So I'm really hoping we can see that $10 million come down as we get further through the process.
Councilor McKenna?
Yeah, just, thank you. Could you please remind me, so what, I support the recommendation. Can you remind me, so the construction that we looked at, we looked at three options. And did that include the demolition? Because we're not gonna fix up the old garage. Did those costs include the demolition of that?
Yes, they do.
Okay. That's good, thanks.
Yes, yeah, they do include demolition, yeah.
Okay,
Any other comments?
well, just that might hinder something Montague didn't have to do. Was demolish and clean up a site, yeah, so.
Yeah, so through the chair, I mean, if we settle on the 1.288 million, the town will effectively be on its own to figure out what we're going to do in terms of a new build. We'll be responsible for the fate of the old building, which in this case would be presumably taken down after the new building was built. In the interim, we're working with IPE right now to figure out how we can utilize the existing building, absent using the north end that was subject to the structure fire, but the balance of the building, we're confident that we can occupy it until such time as we occupy a new build. So.
Thanks. Councilor Brennan?
Yeah, I support this as well. Just a question about this year's winter operation, so we're going to be functional for the winter, because obviously we're not going to have a new building.
Yes, it would
in the
appear,
near term.
so. Through the chair, failing getting concurrence from IPE to continue to use the building, then we'd have to go ahead and try to find an alternate accommodation for the winter. I've got a few feelers out there from different property owners in Smith Falls. So worst case scenario, we go down that road, but it's looking like we ought to be able to use the building. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Councilor McKenna?
Sorry, just one more. So we'll still have insurance on the equipment as we use the old building. Is the building insured as we use it?
As I understand it, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Councilor Quinn?
Thank you. And I do believe, Director McMahon, that you've been out to see the new building in Montague. I think, yeah. So there's lots there that we could learn from, I think. I'm not saying that that's exactly what we want for sure, but we'll just keep our minds open and making sure, yes, that there is insurance on the old building as we're able to use it for the winter for sure, and our equipment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And through the chair, that's what we're still working on, working out those details with IPE. But with respect to the beautiful building that Montague built for their public works and fire department, very much a purpose-built building, not dissimilar to what we're looking at doing here in Smith Falls, if that's council's wish. But keep in mind that the one at Montague is marginally bigger than the building we'd be looking at here in Smith Falls. We're just under 20,000. If memory serves, are about 22,500 square feet out in Montague. But that being said, they wouldn't have the office accommodation that we'd be looking for in our build. So similar, but marginally different. And I'd go out on a limb to suggest that the price tag of the $10 million or north of $10 million for our particular build, that's a Class D estimate. It has some significant contingency in there. Again, once we get to work on, again, with council's concurrence, and at this point, we still have to, through our architectural consultant we're using, one thing that we'll be talking about at budget this year, 2026 budget, is do we want to advance the project to detailed design? Because right now they've been commissioned to create a 30% design. Well, that doesn't get us quite to where we need to be if council's wish is to build a new facility. So there's more to come on that, but I would wager, I guess, that the $10 million plus is significantly more than what the final price tag would be on this build. I'd be comfortable in saying that in public, yes.
You just did.
Any other comments, questions? Good. You've got the direction.
Thank you.
All right. Last but not least, Director Dauber. With our August 2025 budget monitor report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Council. I promise this will be much shorter than the last time. We're at 67% of the way through the year for August. The line items that I will identify are the ones that proportionally or change out of proportion to the degree of adding a month to that percentage that we're looking at. So again, 67% of the way through the year. The only big changes would be near the top in the first section, the operating grants. That went from 49% up to 75%. So most of that's the OMPF. So we've received 3 out of 4 payments, and we have one more payment coming. Further down in the community services, parks increased from 41% in July to 84% in August, which is normal because the activities will be winding down now. There'll probably be a few leftover pieces in September, and then we expect that activity to stop. And other than that, the only other difference is right at the bottom. Once we have adjusted the operating projected surplus, we've increased that surplus by 140,000 since July. So from 51,000 up to 190,000 in August is our projections. And I'd be happy to take any questions that council has.
Great. Councilor McCann.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to comment, I just wanted to acknowledge that to the residential ratepayers and the commercial and the industrial, I know these are really difficult times, and to have 99% of our tax revenue in, we really appreciate the commitment the town residents and businesses made, and we'll do our very best to spend it, continue to spend it wisely. But it's impressive to see that revenue at that level at this point in the year. Thank you.
Councilor McGuire.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Paul. My only issue with this is the same issue I had last month, and that's we're getting an August update 2 weeks into October. So all these numbers are outdated from whatever September's update is going to be. And if we're not going to get these, like this is about the time I'd really want to get that September update. And if the timing of that isn't how it works, then I would say a quarterly update would be the way to go, because then we could get up-to-date information, hopefully a couple weeks within the deadline of it. So I would again see if there's any consensus to switch to a quarterly update. But for me, there's not a ton of information in this that's that useful, because the month end of September's already happened 2 weeks ago. So.
Any other comments or questions?
Through the chair, if I could.
Oh, yeah.
There is a timing difference, just so you're aware, even with if council wish, that would be no problem, because that's fairly standard to get quarterly reports. There's always a bit of a time delay because we have to wait 2 to 3 weeks before we get all the invoices in. Otherwise, we're giving information too quickly and not really showing what all the expenses are. So you would be right that we could probably tighten it up a little bit, but it wouldn't be a lot. I just don't want to promise something or give a wrong impression, but we would probably be looking at a full 4 weeks after the close of the month before we come to council.
I see a lot of nodding heads, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have we got any committee, board, or external organization updates? Seeing none. We have no information listings or correspondence items, no notice of motions. Could I have a motion for adjournment? Moved by Councillor Brennan, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that the committee adjourn its proceedings at 5:29 p.m. and stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor? Carried. We're adjourned.
back on.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of Smith Falls Town Council for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. I'll open the meeting with our land acknowledgement. On October 14th, 2025, we acknowledge that the sacred land in which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and has rich and indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We're grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rio Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We're mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, be mindful of generations to come. I'll call the meeting to order at 5:34 p.m. Our motion for approval of the agenda is Councillor Quinn, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Miller, that the October 14th, 2025 special council meeting agenda be approved as circulated.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn, second by Councillor Miller, the October 14th, 2025 special council meeting agenda be approved as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. I'm asking for disclosure of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest and general nature thereof. Councillor Miller.
Thank you. I have a conflict with 10.3. My employer is the applicant.
So noted. Thank you. We have no approval of minutes. Anybody have a report to bring an update tonight? Councillor Brennan.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that the Heritage House is launching their annual pumpkin carving contest. And I'm putting a challenge out to staff and my colleagues to get their pumpkin carved. I worked probably 5 hours on my pumpkin this weekend, and it's ready to go, and I'm taking it over. So they'll be accepted anytime, I think, up until 23rd of October. So get your pumpkin carved, and anyone out there get their pumpkin carved and take it over to the Heritage House.
Any particular theme, or it's just individual?
It's up to you.
Okay.
My pumpkin's name is Bucky, so just saying.
That may be a sign of what to see.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And just to note for the public, to your left, my right, it's not CAO Morris over there in the corner. That's Director Clark, who's here acting CAO this week. We have no presentations. I do have two. Oh, yes. Yes, Councillor McGuire, sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a reminder that the deadline to get public feedback for the Heritage Conservation District Plan is Friday, October 17th. So that can be done through the town's website or through an email to me. But we're hoping to get a little more feedback. There hasn't been a ton of responses yet. The DBA is discussing it tonight, and we're hoping to get some positive feedback from them. But yeah, that closes on the 17th.
Okay, thank you. And I have two proclamations this evening. The first one is Water and Wastewater and Stormwater Operators Appreciation Day. Whereas water, wastewater, and stormwater operators are essential to long-term sustainable access to safe and reliable drinking water in our communities. Whereas their work is vital to the health and safety of our communities, they are responsible for monitoring the operation of water systems and facilities, conducting routine maintenance, adjusting treatment processes, identifying and addressing equipment issues, ensuring that water quality meets or exceeds legislative guidelines, and ensuring distribution of clean, safe, and reliable drinking water. Whereas wastewater operators are essential to communities to provide citizens with the monitoring and treatment of wastewater. Whereas their work is vital to ensuring reliable wastewater conveyance and treatment by operating wastewater facilities and equipment to purify and treat wastewater and to dispose of sewage by cleaning and maintaining collection systems, facilities, equipment tanks, filter beds, and other work areas. Now, therefore, I, Sean Panko, Mayor of the Town of Smith Falls, on behalf of Council and the Corporation of the Town of Smith Falls, call upon all citizens of the town to observe the day of October 23rd as Water and Wastewater and Stormwater Operators Appreciation Day. And the second proclamation is Local Government Week, October 19th to 25th, 2025. Whereas the week of October 19th to 25th will be celebrated in Ontario as Local Government Week to heighten awareness, understanding, and interest in municipal government. Whereas Local Government Week is an opportunity to reflect on the vital services delivered by municipal governments. Whereas the municipal order of government performs functions that significantly impact the day-to-day life of citizens throughout the world. Whereas municipal governments play a vital role in helping to define the character, priorities, physical makeup, and quality of life of communities across Ontario. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Sean Panko, Mayor of the Town of Smith Falls, do proclaim the week of October 19th to 25th, 2025 as Local Government Week in the Town of Smith Falls. And Clerk Costello, I'm going to put you on the spot for a moment. If you can speak to some of the highlights coming next week.
Certainly, we've got two things booked where Mayor Panko is going to be meeting with some of the students at Duncan J. Schooler's school. We also we're looking to host the Coffee with Council maybe a bit earlier that week. And right now we're also trying to plan an event with the SFDCI civic students, as well as in relation to our twinning agreement with the Ukraine. We're hoping that the mayor there will have a few minutes that he can speak to the students here. So that's in the works. We're hoping that'll work out with the time change. It's a bit difficult to arrange, but we're trying.
Do we have the date for Coffee with Council yet?
Hoping it'll be this Friday, which I believe is the 24th.
Yeah, from 8 to 10.
8 to 9 or 9:30. We will be putting something out on our social media feeds as soon as we confirm the date.
Perfect. Okay. We're all looking forward to it. Thank you. Okay, we have a few pieces of business to look after. Our first one is a motion with Councilor McKenna, please.
Thank you, Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson. That council direct the clerk to sign the fireproof of loss form from Intact Public Entities to authorize the release of settlement funds to the corporation of the Town of Smith Falls in the amount of $1,288,379.13 as presented in Committee of the Whole Report 2025-105.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Yes, as we know, a ways back, we had a fire at a public works garage. The option was which was never built as a public works garage. We took it over as an existing structure. So we had to look at whether we would let the insurance company fix up an old undersized building or take the settlement and put it towards yet to be determined purpose-built public works garage. So council and staff thought it was in the best interest to take the settlement and put it towards a new build.
Thank you. Any further comments? It is moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Councillor Robinson. The council direct the clerk to sign the fireproof of loss form from Intact Public Entities to authorize the release of settlement funds to the corporation of the Town of Smith Falls in the amount of $1,288,379.13 as presented in Committee of the Whole Report 2025-105. All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. On to our bylaws. Our first with Councillor Brennan, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw lifting part lot control for the lands described as Block 33, Registered Plan 27M-109, to allow the division of blocks into separate street house lots be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Brennan, second by Councillor Quinn. The bylaw lifting part lot control on the lands described as Block 33 of Registered Plan 27M-109 to allow the division of the blocks into separate street townhouse lots be received for the first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor Brennan?
So as this was presented by Director Grinke, this is the final administrative step for the development of these blocks. So we're going to have more of these come through, but it's good to hear the building continues out there.
Further comments? Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw lifting part lot control for the lands described as Block 33 of Registered Plan 27M-09 to allow the division of blocks into separate street townhouse lots be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 106-46-2025.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Brennan, second by Councillor Quinn. A bylaw lifting part lot control for the lands described as Block 33, Registered Plan 27M-109 to allow the division of the blocks into separate street townhouse lots be now with a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10646-2025. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Councillor Quinn, you're up next.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw deeming lots 4 and 43 of Plan 13884 not to be registered plan of subdivision to be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn, seconded by Councillor Miller. That a bylaw deeming lots 4 and 43 of Plan 13884 not to be in a registered plan of subdivision be received and read first. Received and read first time, taken as read a second time. All in favor? Further discussion, Councillor Quinn?
This is just moving forward with that subdivision and we needed some changes, so that's what this is allowing us to do, and they continue.
Now, just to clarify, is it this, I think, Brothel Street, Brothel and Able? Yeah, so, yes, Councillor.
So that was at the planning committee, so it's a home on Brockville Street that is gonna take over or buy a section of the street, backing street, is the house on Able. It's a very small sliver of land that they're getting, so it's just, as Carl said, it's administrative, basically.
Thank you. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw deeming lots 4 and 43 of Plan 13884 not to be in a registered plan of subdivision be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10647-2025.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Miller. That a bylaw deeming lots 4 and 43 of Plan 13884 not to be in a registered plan of subdivision be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, and sealed 10647-2025. All in favor? Carried. And Councillor McGuire, you have the final formal piece of business.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw authorizing the execution of an encroachment agreement with the owners of 18 William Street East to permit the construction of a canopy to encroach on municipal lands be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Bylaw authorizing the execution of an encroachment agreement with the owners of 18 William Street East to permit the construction of a canopy to encroach on municipal lands be received for the first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Discussion, please.
Yes, so this is for a new canopy awning entrance at the Big Brothers Big Sisters building. They have a CIP grant to complete the work, so this is the procedural part of getting the legalities in place, and Councillor Miller has declared a conflict, which is appreciated.
Thank you. Any further comments? Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw authorizing the execution of an encroachment agreement with the owners of 18 William Street East to permit the construction of a canopy to encroach on municipal lands be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10648-2025.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Bylaw authorizing the execution of an encroachment agreement with the owners of 18 William Street East to permit the construction of a canopy to encroach on municipal lands be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10648-2025. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Any inquiries or announcements? Seeing none, we have no confirmatory bylaw. We have a motion for adjournment with Councillor Robinson.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Brennan, that this council adjourn its proceedings at 5:47 p.m. and stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Brennan. This council adjourns proceedings at 5:47 p.m. Stand so adjourned. All in favor? Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned. I'm glad we received that extra hour.
I was just shocked that he said quickly. He actually went quickly.
Is this Carol's?
No, it's Paul's. I told him I'd take it down to my office.
Oh, that's why you came in.
Yeah.